SoilEssentials is a precision agricultural company based at Hilton-on-Fern. Hilton-on-Fern is the farm we're standing on here, my home farm. So today we're going to discuss a bit about variable rate nitrogen and where it's of use. The purpose of variable rate nitrogen is to apply the right amount in the right place because the crop doesn't respond evenly across the field. Variable rate nitrogen is really important because nitrogen is one of the main drivers of crop yield, and crop yield drives crop profitability. Add to that, the carbon load in nitrogen is approximately 50% of the total carbon load over the whole crop. Therefore, we are trying to maximise the efficiency in reducing the carbon content of that crop. The main risk for under and over applying nitrogen, by under applying, you're not maximising the yield of the crop and therefore reducing your gross margin. By over applying, you're wasting nitrogen in those areas, and that nitrogen won't be used for the benefit of that crop and will ultimately leach and end up in the water table. Field variability has a huge effect on nitrogen requirements because unfortunately most Scottish fields aren't uniform. So really we've got to understand what's limiting crop yield in each part of the field to decide what amount and when to apply the optimum rate of nitrogen. Mentally, I divide field variability into two categories. One is inherent variability that's there because of slope and aspect and tree shade and things like that. Other thing is induced variability, where we as farmers have caused variability in the field. Things like soil pH and soil chemistry in general, drainage, rabbit damage. We can fix these things, and by fixing them, we can increase the average yield of the whole field. Unfortunately, in the inherent variability, like soil type, like slope and aspect, tree shade to some extent, we can't fix them, so we've got to manage that variability. And one of the ways of doing that is with variable rate nitrogen. Nitrogen is not always the limiting factor in underperforming areas because there are approximately 40 different things that control the growth of a crop. And if you have a crop that's being limited by soil pH or drainage or low soil chemistry or slope or aspect, so north-facing slopes are approximately 10% lower yielding than south-facing slopes, there is no point in applying nitrogen there because as long as the crop has got enough nitrogen, it won't limit yield. Over the last 30 years, we've developed a lot of tools to enable variable rate application of nitrogen. One of those is tractor-mounted sensors, which is mounted on a tractor, and as the tractor drives through the field spreading fertiliser, it changes the rate of the fertiliser based on the amount of nitrogen in the crop. The second option that most people use would be satellite imagery, where satellites come across at a prearranged schedule. You can look at those satellite images across multiple fields at once and create application maps for nitrogen from those. So we in Scotland, we tend to have 3 nitrogen applications in winter crops. First application tends to be uniform because we're applying sulphur. Second application, we tend to apply more in the poor areas to encourage the tillering and crop growth in the poor areas, and slightly less in the better areas because we don't need to encourage them. Third application, early May, late April, we reverse the logic and apply less in the poor areas because if they're still poor, they're probably not limited by nitrogen, but we apply more nitrogen in the good areas to try and keep them greener longer and get maximum yield from those areas. So variable rate nitrogen and precision ag in general contributes greatly towards reducing your environmental impact and improving water quality because we're all trying to get the most from the crop inputs that we are applying because we want maximum gross margin. So if the crop doesn't use all the nitrogen during the growing season, it gets washed down to the soil and increases the nitrate concentration in rivers, which is bad for everything. Adopting variable rate nitrogen is a really important step in reducing the carbon load a farm produces because most of the nitrogen that we use is produced using methane to create the ammonia, and approximately 50% of a crop's carbon impact load is from that nitrogen, is from that methane applied in nitrogen. So everything we can do to make that, to target the nitrogen to the right amount in the right place at the right time and not to apply nitrogen to areas that don't need it, it will improve our carbon footprint. This technology is really important for the industry because it's all about minimising our carbon footprint and maximising our gross output. Anything we can do to maximise nitrogen use efficiency on our crops is essential for the industry.